15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto, Ron, Elvis, and the lay poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you're out here, now your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. Really excited for tonight's episode. Outside of games themselves, this is my favorite episode to do of the offseason, the draft. We've already talked about that ad nauseum, and how my co-host and I are, we watch, we pay attention, but this really gets me fired up as a Bills Mafia member, season ticket holder since 2009. Down here in Charlotte. I just get juiced up for this week. I know that there was tons of leaks and all that other stuff that goes on as the schedule is coming out, but the full 2025 NFL schedule was released on Wednesday, and boy, it couldn't get here soon enough. Joining me tonight to discuss it all, riding shotgun, my co-host, as always, Adam Dumptruck Rupsick. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Adam Rupsick, RUPCZYK. Holla at the crew, DT. It's like Christmas in May, man. Holla at the crew. What's good?
Nickel City, what's up? What's up, Rob? Good to be back after the week off. And yeah, our first look at 17-0, or the Super Bowl run, or the last season in the Ralph, whatever you want to call it. They're all hashed out. We knew the opponents. Now we get to dig in a little bit to the particulars of how it all stacks up, and how we're going to spend realistically our whole lives from September through February. So I'm pumped up. It's always fun. The NFL knows it too. We talk about the entertainment business and how big they are, and they know it. They straggle everybody along and throw a little taste here, a little taste there. Josh Allen was supposed to be on the Today Show like 14 different times. It never was. And then they just release it. So the teams are getting creative with their schedule release videos. That's kind of cool. We'll talk about that tonight as well. And it's a whole operation, just like the NFL does. Nothing can just be something small. It's big, and it is big. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to get this schedule, our lives, as the real schedule comes out.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that about, spending your lives, because for me, and that, and I know it for you as well, and so many Mafia members, it really is like that. I mean, it's not hyperbolic to say that. I mean, we schedule everything, events, parties, everything is kind of revolving around holidays. We were all concerned about if the Bills are going to be on holidays this year, and Thanksgiving or Christmas, there was rumors and stuff like that when the schedule leaks were coming out and all the rumors. It's funny because we really do kind of just schedule everything around the Buffalo Bills, and that's what really makes it so unique, because you're absolutely right. The NFL is kingpin. They know it. They're the 800-pound gorilla, and they just kind of just run shit. Like they really do it, because on seasons where like this one, where I'll be back in the saddle as season ticket holder, it's just everything. I'm looking at the dates. I've got, 3 of my kings and both of my princesses are born in the fall. Like, so I'm just like trying to figure out what's going on. Like where's everything kind of lining up? When's the kids' day game for the preseason? And then when's the opener? And then everything from there, just kind of unravels. And it's really, really important. I know that it might seem silly to some people, but you got to plan. You got to have a plan ahead. And we'll talk about some of the plans that we have this year, because I know that there's a special game on the schedule for me down here in Charlotte that means a lot. So we'll get into it. DT, first glance, at first blush, I want your immediate reaction about what you thought about the schedule, and we'll get through and we'll go through all 17 games, 18 weeks. The bye week falls in week 7, a little bit earlier this year. But DT, at first blush, what did you think? And I'll give you my thoughts, because when I looked at it, I had some immediate reactions for sure about what I thought about this schedule. as compared to
Yeah.
last year or any other year?
I mean, first thought was an overwhelming surprise of no holiday games. And a
Yep,
second quick thought
I give you that.
is Stack wins early. Stack wins early. Those are my quick knee-jerk reactions to the schedule. Very surprised, no holidays, and Stack wins early.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm not I'm not against, the holidays or anything like that. I don't not necessarily not want to see the Bills on there. I've enjoyed the Thanksgiving. I think they played in all three different slots against the Lions. They played the afternoon game against the Cowboys. That was kind of one of Josh Allen's coming out parties for the rest of the nation. And then I know we beat up on the Saints one year when they were depleted. It's funny because when you look at the schedule and the holidays and stuff like that, I know some of Bills Mafia thought that it was a slight that, I guess Miami's got 7 primetime games and we have 5. I don't look at it like that. I see that everybody astutely pointed out, especially on WGR this week, that 425 is it's like a big game now. It's like one of those standalone. Now, I know that they've got maybe 2 other competing games and some West Coast games at that time, but that 4 o'clock game, CBS or Fox, whoever's got that national game of the week, that's almost damn near a primetime game. And we'll go through the schedule and some of those slots that the Bills are in because they're on it a bunch. And I just thought that the way that the schedule broke out, I had no ill will feelings about the fact that the Bills were not on the holidays. So happy we're not going international. We'll get to talk about that as well. But the fact that we've got a little bit of consistency in respects to no holidays, don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about some crazy travel across the pond. I really do like the way that shapes up for the Bills for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that 425 slot, they say time and time again, is the most viewed game, of the week is that 425. I mean, we're avid NFL fans, obviously diehard Bills fans, but avid NFL fans. And it's very rare, Rob. I'm making it all the way through that Sunday night game, and very rare I even touch it unless the Bills are playing, obviously, right?
I know what you mean.
Even rare I even get to halftime of the Monday night games, right? You're
Right.
exhausted from the weekend especially if you went to the Bills game, and everything in between. It takes a lot out of you. So to get out for these late night games, it's very rare I'm actually watching the endings and the full games of these Sunday night and Monday night, unless it's the Bills. So, yeah, the 425 slot is the prime time slot, if you will. And we've talked about it for years. When we first started Nickel City Crew, it was more of excitement to get out of 1 o'clocks. And now we miss the 1 o'clocks at the Ralph because, as our listeners know, we're professional tailgaters. We do it right. We got everything in order, and we know exactly how a 1 o'clock game should be. We're getting better now at the other games because we're getting a lot of other practice. But I miss the regulars. I can do the 420s are nice. It lets you get through the day, and then you got ball to focus on right before dinner and into your evening. But that's the truth. I would argue a lot of real hardcore NFL fans rarely make it through all Monday night and all Sunday night games. It's usually on the sleep timer when I'm going in to go to bed for the next week, or maybe I got some fantasy implications late. Right. But the 425 slot is the new prime time. I'm not complaining about about wishing we had more primetime games. I think it sets up nice, and we start to understand the taxing toll of an NFL season, and when star players are getting hurt and this and that and everything like that goes into that, of knowing that the easiest is the best, the most consistent is the best, and I think it sets up pretty well this year as we dig into it.
Yeah, it does set up pretty well. And obviously, again, unless you've been under a rock, you've already seen it by now. But the 2025 schedule came out and week 1, I mean, what a marquee matchup. There were some rumblings that it could be Cincinnati. The Bills hosted Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football. I personally am just excited that it's Baltimore because DT, that they were my bugaboo last year. They had me scared shitless pretty much after that drubbing that we took last year in the regular season. I've already admitted, I'm on the record, I was more nervous about the divisional round game than I was the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. I thought that we were better than the Chiefs, and I thought we should beat them. I was deathly nervous about that about that Ravens game in the divisional round, even though it was at home. Bills Sunday Night Football to kick it off, DT. I mean, you can't write a better script than that. The last 2 MVPs going at it, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You've got the Buffalo Bills' new revamped defense. I know that we're going to be missing the Bash brothers against that game and for the first 6 weeks, but outside of that, man, you've got a lot of assets that have been poured into McDermott's defense, where for me, a fan like me who's always keeping my eye close on him, we're just starting to peel back more excuses, all these different layers and all these different things that can hide that he may be able to hide behind for his supporters. You're really starting to remove a lot of those. You've poured assets into this defense. What better way to get a litmus test than week 1 under the lights at the Ralph season farewell tour? It kicks off, man, against the Ravens. I can't even imagine a better matchup, man. That's so sweet.
Heavyweight bout. And the stereotypical response is, oh, you want a cupcake game to get started.
Right.
Nowadays the starters don't play in the preseason like they used to. You want to get the rust out. Last year we're sitting there against what should have been a cupcake game against the Cardinals, getting down. We got down 17-0, didn't we?
Yep.
To start the game, and obviously, stormed back and took care of that one. But the heavyweight battle, do you want a cupcake? Do you want to get right into it? I don't know. I look back at the main opening days in my history that were like the most exciting, and a couple that come to mind are 33-3 against New England Patriots. It was Sammy Adams doing the pick six. The 1 year the Chiefs came in, we were heavy underdogs against the Chiefs, and back even before Alex Smith, I think, and like the Priest Holmes era, and we came in and took care of them on opening day. The defending world champion LA Rams a few years ago, we go to LA and put the beat down on them on opening night. So I like a cupcake game would be nice, but looking back in my Bills history, some of the best openers are against some primetime opponents when we go in there and lay the beat down. And what a better way to get the litmus test, and the MVP's going at it, and we go in on Sunday night and we're going to be there loud and proud. 17 and the boys go in and take care of business. It's going to be tough to tell us something with the rest of the schedule coming up before the bye week. So I'm excited. The point I heard all week was, a cupcake would be nice, but you literally have all offseason to prepare. You're not going to be beat up. It's not like the Derrick Henrys of the world are going to like run you down late in the season and beat you up. We're going to be able to plan for it. They're going to be able to plan for us, but it's tough to plan against Josh Allen.
Yeah, it is tough. And, I'm excited because just the matchup, and you're absolutely right. You hit it on the head because, cupcake would be fun, but I want to know where we stand. And it would be great to know where you stand right off the bat. And for me, I have such a respect for the Ravens, and you know that, and I have respect for the Chiefs too, but they're just fucking annoying. But I have respect for the Ravens and how they do their work and how they go about their business, Harbaugh as well. And for me, it's a situation where, again, McDermott has been supplied a lot of things. I love your point about the offseason. There's no, oh man, we're coming off a short week or something. There's no excuses. You've got all these assets that you've put in on the defense, and now you do get an opportunity to get into the lab, as they say. Bobby Babbage and McDermott can figure out what their scheme is going to be like, how they're going to incorporate these guys. That's what training camp is really for, is kind of tinkering with those types of lineups, substitution packages, different things like that. What are you good at? What are some of your strengths, and what are your weaknesses, and how can we hide those deficiencies when it comes time for real ball? So I'm excited. There's no excuses in respects to the ramp up because of the fact that, like you just said, both teams got a chance to prepare. So I like that, man. I do.
It's gonna be electric. Obviously for sure, gonna be good weather. The only qualm is like now that we are like good, they're not giving us any early season games at 1:00 where we can get the sunshine and everything. It's all gonna be night, but at least it's gonna be a warm night, hopefully, and we're not gonna have to be bundled up in early September. The cliche here, Rob, is it's a can't lose, really, right? If you go in and beat the brakes off them, you're, oh shit, here we go, Josh Allen MVP, we're gonna roll again this season. If you go in and get beat, it's a quick, hey, it's the first game, let's get the rust out. There's some winnable games after this. It's game one. We're going to be a whole different team, later in the year when we see them in the playoffs. So the cliche is you can't lose, but I don't really like that mentality. I like the heavyweight battle. You going in, we are a marquee team. We are one of the contenders. Josh Allen, the best player in the league by a lot of people's means. Let's go Sunday Night Ball. Everyone gets their dose of the openers on the Thursday, Friday. Then you have your first real game day, at 1:00, getting through all the games, get your YouTube TV up and quad screen it. And then everybody locks into the title. And it's still early enough in the year where people are going to be on it. And yeah, I love it. Even though it's a can't lose situation, I like the the ladder of that, of being able to beat the brakes off them and then say, yeah, we are those dudes this year.
Yeah, we're gonna be a problem this year. I like that. Yeah, for sure. I don't necessarily think about a can't lose, but I do because it's a conference opponent. And it really speaks to the name of I named the episode because this schedule does have number one seed vibes to me. Now, as we go through it, why do I have number one seed vibes? It's because number one, obviously, it's the only thing the Buffalo Bills have not accomplished. We talked about that last season. We've talked about it in other seasons as well. The only thing the Buffalo Bills have not accomplished is getting that number one seed. It is really important, in my opinion. I think for attrition. I think for just the fact you win one game and you're in the title game. You're in your conference title game. I think that you really can't overstate that. We have seen it play out with injuries against Pittsburgh. We've seen it play out with other injuries as well throughout our runs that, you could get dinged up and come into the next game, even though you get a win and you're not the same team. So I'm really, really excited. I don't think that it's a game that you want to give away, but you're absolutely right. There's ways to twist it and turn it where, okay, we can still stay optimistic if we do come out with a loss. Now, we'll give our predictions at the end of the episode. Week 2, DT, on the road at the Jets. That is one of those rare Sunday 1:00 games at MetLife against, I guess, the revamped New York Jets. They clean house. They bring in Aaron Glenn. He takes no shit. He tells Aaron Rodgers where he could stick it after taking and making him get on a plane to fire, which is pretty epic. And they've got Justin Fields, and I guess they feel a little bit better about themselves in respects to the structure and the quote unquote culture of their locker room and their organization. But I don't think they're on the Bills level quite yet. But it should be a nice tilt. The first AFC East opponent, week 2.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields is about as scary as I don't know. I can't even make a comparison. But that's a good week 2 matchup rolling in. Again, win or lose, you're going to see a rolling Bills team. They're going to be pissed off or they're going to be ready to rock. And that typical 1:00 MetLife slate, that's got 47 points written all over it.
I love it. Week 3, the Bills back at home. Another primetime game. That's going to be right after that Sunday 1:00 game. It's going to be a Thursday night. Again, under the lights. Get used to it, Bills Mafia. I know you're starting to get used to it for sure. Under the lights, Thursday night football, the Dolphins in town. I like the fact that, we're not going to Miami because it's always hot as hell right around now, right around then, in September. So, we saw what that was with that Diggs of the game with the IVs and stuff like that, players dropping like flies. I like the fact that it's here. And you get a chance to go down south later in the year. DT, I mean, Josh Allen is the Dolphins' daddy. I know that it gets old. I know that we kind of ride and rag people, especially on Twitter, Bills Twitter. We are relentless against the Dolphins fans and all that fins up shit. But, I mean, the facts are the facts. The Dolphins struggle against Josh Allen. There's no way to really sugarcoat it. Now, they give us good games. They have given us some good games. Every now and then they get blown out for sure, but they do give us some stiff games. But DT, I mean, it's week 3. Like you said, all the energy's high. I can't imagine what it would be like if you're 2-0 coming into that game. The Bills, I think they know what's ahead of them. I think that they understand the opportunity that they have with this schedule that we're getting ready to go over. There are some winnable games at the beginning. This is one that you don't want to drop. This team is still learning, finding themselves. Aaron Glenn, a first-time coach. I expect the Bills to be ready for this game under the lights.
Yeah, last year we played them Thursday night, week 2.
Yes, sir.
Right out of the gate, we went down there.
Miami.
And that was a little nerve-wracking, the fact that, hey, Miami's good. Like they've been building up. They're going to be good. If we go down there, it's kind of a toss-up game. Go down, beat the brakes off, and Josh Allen does his thing. This is going to be a tough one for Miami to come in and win, no matter really what happens in the first 2 weeks. I think still going to be good weather. Still, right. The Mafia is still going to be hot and wild in that Thursday night. Football. This might be that first rivalry jersey game.
Ooh,
we might see a jersey we've never seen before in the final year of the Ralph, and getting ready for that matchup. It's going to be a tough one for the Finns to come up here and win. People, we've been busting on the Dolphins and talking shit, but there was a time they beat us 20 times in a row, Rob. Right. The streak was 20 in a row before the Bills took it, and so we still got a lot left to give to get up to 20 in a row. 80s, I mean. And so I don't feel bad at anybody for that lives down in South Beach and is bitching that we're coming after him and Josh Allen hangs it on him every week. That's gonna be a tough one for the Dolphins to come up. I like kind of how that's set up. And this point of the year, we should be fresh. It gives me like last year Monday Night Jaguars vibes. That type of point in the season where you should have all the kinks and rust out, and it should be full force. And yeah, that's going to be a tough one for the Dolphins to come up here and compete in.
Yeah, I can't imagine, because of the fact that, I mean, just it's so early in the season. Your first, Thursday night game. I know we had a primetime game, obviously, to start the year, but it's a situation where I just don't, until Tua can do it and does it. I'm just not going to see. Now, again, I do give them credit because they have given us some stiff games, but Josh Allen is the daddy. I mean, we run that team right now, and until they could do it, I just don't have much faith in it. So they'll have to actually prove it before I believe it. Now, week 4, one of the rare ones, DT, a Sunday 1:00 game at the Ralph. Get a chance to get your tailgate out early, get a chance to smell that crisp, cool fall air. It's still going to be nice and early in the fall in September, so you're still going to get those summer vibes a little bit. Bills, Saints, 1:00 here at the Ralph. And one of the things that stuck out to me was that obviously the news that just came down recently, Derek Carr. I've respected his game and respected his career. Retires abruptly last week, basically based on that torn labrum in his shoulder. I guess, he's made $200 million, I heard, in his career. So it's a situation where, you can't blame the man for cashing out. But he's gone. You either got Tyler Shuck, I guess, for the Louisville 26-year-old guy who's been all around college football, or Spencer Rattler. It doesn't make me feel any different, regardless of what quarterback you put under center. Sean McDermott eats up young quarterbacks, and I expect nothing different.
Yeah, 1:00. This is the bring your mom to the game, bring your cousins to the game, bring your aunt and uncles who aren't from here to the game. Should be a nice, cheaper ticket. 1:00. I feel like a lot of the the diehards and main season ticket holders will hit the first 2 night games of the year and then kind of let this 1:00 one chill for a while. So this is a get the family involved game. Nothing too crazy. Maybe bring the kids. It'll there's not going to be any crazy Saints fans there making it a uninhabitable atmosphere or anything like that, or hostile. So yeah, nice lighthearted 1:00 game. I'm sure the spread will be double digits at that point. And bring the mom, bring the family, take it easy, enjoy a few hot dogs, and get in there for a 1:00.
Oh, I love it. I love it. He said, bring the grandmas, bring the moms, bring the kids. That's what's up. I do like that, because you're absolutely right. Saints fans are not really in Buffalo that much. My cousin is a Saints fan. We and him go back and forth a little bit, but yeah, it should be some smooth sailing for sure. Now, you don't want to obviously chalk up all the wins or say that any opponent can't beat another opponent, but young quarterback, whether it be a rookie or Spencer Rattler, I'm just not too worried about it. Now, the next week, you're absolutely right, DT, because you got to get right back on the saddle. Bills, it's crazy because we got 4 out of 5 games at home to start the season. It is Sunday night football against the Patriots. And DT, it's funny because, 2 Sunday night games to start the year, and the Patriots are kind of getting a little bit of love because of the fact that they kicked out, Mayo, and they bring in Vrabel, one of their boys, one of their own, and he's, setting the culture and all that other stuff. And he's one of the Patriot way guys, obviously Brady's teammate, and loved by Kraft. I will give them respect because of the fact that I do think that Drake May could play. They call him little, Josh Allen Jr., whatever the case may be. And I think that Vrabel's a good coach, flat, up and down. I think he's a good coach. I don't know if they're ready for the next step. Obviously, they've got Stephon Diggs. We don't need to talk about him tonight, but that is the Stephon Diggs revenge game in a certain way. Mac Hollins will be back in the building. Listen, it's kind of like the Dolphins. When they arrive and they start knocking at our door, then I'll be considering answering the door. For now, I'm still kind of overlooking them. I do respect Drake May. I do respect Vrabel. I think they might be a year away. But I guess Vegas and a lot of people are thinking that they're ready to go. So I don't know. I don't know if I buy it quite yet. I think it may be a year early.
Yeah, they're going to be better. I mean, we had our shot of, once Brady left, we had our 5-6 year span of complete dominance, and then they're going to be creeping back, and we got to be ready for that. That's just the cycle of the NFL. But the way this kind of tees up to me is like the Dolphins a few years ago. They just had a ton of cap room. They buy their roster, and it just doesn't. They're going to have some studs out of this, but then there's going to be some people they overpaid for, and there's going to be cap casualties in a few years. And it's not just because they spent a ton of money doesn't just make them an all-star team by any means. Drake may still have to develop. And I'd like this matchup on the Sunday night. I'd be a lot more nervous about this matchup if it was just your regular 1:00 game where, this team that might gain, this younger team might gain some confidence in the early part of the year. They come in and catch you on catch you in a lull, catch you with some lull of energy. But coming into prime time at the Ralph, it's going to be, again, similar to the Dolphins game in week 3, just tough for them to get up and go against this crowd and go against Josh Allen in prime time, firing all cylinders. Even if they are kind of on the come up, I don't think they're ready for the lights yet. And I would be a lot more nervous about this game if it was in the, just your normal 1 o'clock. I think the Sunday night factor kind of solidifies that, yes, they might be better, but they're not under the lights yet. We're under the lights. They're not under the lights, and come in and, take care of a team that just isn't there yet.
Yeah, and to that point, DT, the last time they played at the Ralph, we weren't trying. So let's not gloss over that. The last time they played at the Ralph, we were not trying to win that game. So it's a situation where it wasn't that true. That last game was here, right?
No, it was
in Buff, right?
New England.
It was at the Ralph. Oh, was it New England? Oh, it was.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
but
all right. Well, either way, last time
they played them like
they've seen before,
like 2 weeks before that.
Trying.
In the Ralph, it was like they played them twice in 3 weeks or something.
Okay.
And they got down. They were down like the Bills were down 14-0 and had to let's play now, and came back and do that. So if you're hey, let's play now, down 14-0, can come back and win with ease. You're not 6 months later powerhouse that's going to beat us on Sunday night. That's how I'm looking at it.
I like it. We'll see. Then a lot of people are high on the Patriots, and we'll see what the season looks like. I do like I said, the Drake May, and I'll keep my eye on that because I do respect Vrabel. Now, week 6, the Bills again, prime time.
They were saying is the Stephon Diggs revenge game or Mac Hollins revenge game that's worth the Sunday night? That's what they're putting on Sunday night, or is it more Drake Mays coming into a better NFL quarterback? They got some studs on defense now, or is it the Stephon Diggs revenge? Stephon Diggs 2 years removed off an ACL, that's not like he's putting up 1,000 yards and it's like a big time matchup anymore as it was last year in Houston. I thought that was a lot more head to head. So, what do you think, Rob? Is it just Drake May on the come up?
I think it's a combination. I think it's
Stephon Diggs revenge matchup. Everyone wants
no, I don't put too much credence to that because now I do think that they moved this game later in the season. They could have easily had it week 2, and they made the Jets game, our first divisional game. They could have easily made it week 2. I think that they want Steph to play. He's coming back off that ACL, so I think that they want that drama. The NFL loves storylines and that type of thing, and obviously they want to get the crowd reaction. How's the crowd going to react to 14 coming back into the house? That type of thing. So I do think that plays a factor. I think it's more May and Vrabel. I think that they, the NFL respects them. They respect Vrabel, what he's did at Tennessee. He made Tennessee, which was a mediocre, organization pretty much outside of their Super Bowl run with Aaron McNair back in the day when they beat us in the Music City Real Crow. They've been just kind of average, run-of-the-mill type of team. He made them a pretty good team. I think they had the 1 seed. I get back to the way that this episode's named. They had the 1 seed that 1 year and then shit on themselves. So to me, I think it's more just respect for Vrabel, the affinity for Drake May, seeing him as an up-and-comer, and then yes, you can sprinkle in the storylines of Stephon Diggs. But I don't think that they would have played this game earlier in the year because of the fear that Diggs wouldn't be there. They like having that extra dynamic. It's just another storyline that they can add on to it. So it'll be interesting to see. Week 6, DT, back to prime time. I think this is the first Monday Night Football doubleheader. The Bills will be a part of it. They head down to Georgia, to the Peach State, to take on the Falcons. And what's funny about that game, I was listening to WGR, you always listen, and Howard Simon was on there picking the Bills, and then he picks Atlanta to win that game. Before we do our prediction at the end of the show, there are going to be some games. I'm not looking at the schedule. I'm not Justice General who's saying, 17-0. And I know you were joking about that in the beginning of the show. I expect some losses. You don't know exactly where they're going to be. And there are always going to be what the hell? Like that Jacksonville loss, or what happened that day? Listen, going down to Atlanta, I think that the Buffalo Bills heading into the bye week know what they have ahead of them because the schedule is starting to get harder, and we'll go over that. I think that they stay focused. And listen, it's Atlanta team, a lot to like in respects to offense and their weapons, and Penix and Drake London and what's Bijan Robinson and Pitts, who still really hasn't popped. I know that he was supposed to be a unicorn, and he still hasn't done much in the league, but it's a situation where they've got the offensive weapons. Their defense is shit, DT. So I just, even if it's got to be a shootout somehow and our defense is still catching up, I expect good things for the Bills going down to Atlanta.
Yeah, this is one that, like, in the back of your head,
It,
it's like,
it
oh,
could, it could, yeah,
and one I like. It's the 7:15 at least. It's not the 8:30. So even though it's
right.
a night game, y'all can be okay at work on Tuesday because it's a 7:15 start. The the This would be a good, like, oh, I've never been to Atlanta other than through the airport. The stadium looks cool. This would be a good trip. But this is also a game that just gets pushed away because, like, there's 100 other games you'd rather go to. It'd be cool to go to Atlanta and get down there, but there's a lot of other games, as we'll get into, tonight, that we'd rather go, on the away slate. So it's kind of like a fake good game, like you want it to be. It's a big city, a big market, but one of those games you really just got to go take care of business on 7:15 Monday night. Yes, a good roster offensively, but nobody defensively, and then we're going to find the holes to that. So could be one of those weird trap games, as Howard said, a little NFC loss early, but hey, if it is, not too big a deal. If it's a win, you're in kind of this stack model going into the bye. So I we'll take it. It'd be nice to go down. We'll have to wait another 8 years to go down to Atlanta. Maybe we put it on the docket for what are we in Nickel City season 15 at that point?
13.
But whatever it is, it's we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. The Bills go into the bye week after visiting the Falcons. And again, the bye week's a little bit earlier this year, Bills Mafia. But, it is what it is. When it comes to the bye week, I always would prefer it later. I know that the Bills do as well. We can see that by their actions. I know that after the London trip, they elected to, they have the choice to take the bye week. They said, no, let's get it later in the year. So obviously you want that just because of the math. You're playing all those games. You want as much opportunity to get healthy before the games really start to matter in respects of the playoffs. But it is what it is. You can't really pick your bye week in that respect. So it is what it is. You get some rest. Now, as we transition tonight to the second half of the slate post bye week, tonight's episode is presented by 26 Shirts here on Buffalo Fanbase, the official Bills Mafia podcast network that DT and I simulcast on. Head on over to 26shirts.com for all of your latest Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Sabres, Buffalo City themed t-shirts. Again, you guys know how it works. Portions of your proceeds will go to a great cause. You're going to be helping a family that's in need across Western New York or across the world. Doesn't matter where the family is. They need it. They need help. Go purchase a shirt. They've got some cool concepts on there for sure. So you're going to be supporting a great cause. You won't be mad that you did. Now, DT, as we begin to transition, I'm just rubbing my hands together because down here in Charlotte, there is now it's not hyperbole, DT. I have a car that has Bills all over it. I wear Bill shit every day, like not even almost, pretty much every day I have something that has Bills on it. My house has Bills all over it. Night games, I have the Zuba lights that you saw. I'll put the Zuba lights on the house to be shining on from the projector. DT, I see Buffalo Bills every day on another car driving to work or something like that. And then if I'm in a place, man, it's twice, 3, 4 times a week. Somebody's hitting me up with a Go Bills as I'm in the gas station or something like that. I've got Bills clothes on. And I mean, I get it all the time. When I tell you the Mafia is deep down here in Charlotte, I promise you, Bills Mafia, I am not being hyperbolic. The Bills Mafia, we are so deep down there that we have 3 different Bills backer bars. There's one by my house, Al's, that I really enjoy. There's another one called Tavern on the Tracks that I used to go to pre-kids when I first moved down to Charlotte in 2006. That it's just a crazy atmosphere. I think the guys are from Depew or something like that, and they run this bar, Tavern on the Tracks, right in Uptown, minutes away from all the big buildings. And I mean, it is raucous in there. I used to go wild and crazy in that place. And then there's another one on the outskirts. DT, you want to talk about Miami takeover? I don't think it can even compare. Now, yes, obviously Miami, we got all the snowbirds down there. I know your family, we'll talk about at the end of the show, is down there now. They're snowbirds. Yes, we do take over. What is it? Hard Rock Stadium. We take it over. DT, Nate was in the car with you yesterday. He's like, we'll probably take that stadium. I said, he's like, maybe like 60-40. I said, no, Nate. I said, if the Panthers are shitty, I said, it will be 80-20 if the Panthers are not winning some games by that time. DT, the invite has been sent. I have already reserved the Airbnb for you there's an Airbnb, right behind my house that I live at. I've already reserved it as soon as the schedule came out. You are cordially invited to come on down. Bring whoever you want. Bring Brandon, bring Steph, bring whoever you want. Come on down. My casa es su casa. Come on down, DT. You do not want to miss this. We're going to show the Charlotte people how you really tailgate, because they do not tailgate They are khakis and polo fan base. They show up to the game at maybe 12 o'clock or maybe 11 o'clock. They don't do much tailgating at all. They come, they sit, they're polite. DT, we going uptown. They call it, their downtown is called Uptown here in Charlotte. We're taking that shit over.
All right.
DT.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I've only, passed through Charlotte. The one time we actually went on vacation was legit when COVID dropped, so the world was literally shutting down as we were driving down, and had to turn right around, and pumped up to come see you and the fam, and get with it and be down there with a bunch of other Bills Mafia. I will say though, I might pull the Rob. How many miles we got? How many miles?
1,300 miles round trip, 650 each way.
All right, 1,300 round trip. I was looking at flights,
round trip.
Flights right when the schedule came out. I looked at flights because it's a real easy flight, Buffalo to Charlotte. Direct.
It's direct.
American, I think, goes through there pretty good. Not too bad. Couple $100. Looking at everything, today
you might
it like doubled in price
instead of drive.
We're looking at like $1,000 for the flight down for the weekend. So it might be. Hey, we're blessed with the company car. We leave early Friday, take whatever squad we're going to get together, get down there, get to you like mid-afternoon that Friday.
You don't drive as fast as me, but I promise you can get there in 10 hours. I mean, I get there at 9 flat. You could get there in 10, no problem. I promise.
Get a good dinner in us. You show us the ropes. Saturday, kind of our day to see what's going on, and maybe hit one of Bobby and Nate's basketball games or whatever's happening during that time. Yes. And then Sunday game day, 1 o'clock, be down there with the Mafia, and then we'll head out Monday. So that's kind of, I'm excited. I'm pumped down to get to your. Yeah, you've been waiting. There hasn't been a game down there in Nickel City Crew. The last one was the Zay Jones, drop. They lost that game, didn't they?
I was there.
Yep. And that was kind of a blah, year and game and vibe. And now it's a whole different story. So I'm pumped up, Rob. I think it's a good one to get down and go to. Get down, see you come up here and see the Batch Pad all the time. So I can't wait to host you. Yeah, let me host and crash it out. And hey, we already got the place to stay. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So whatever way necessary, we got to get down there. We're gonna get down there, and we're gonna enjoy it. That's gonna be the content's gonna be great. We're gonna make some good videos down there together. That's gonna be a good one, and hopefully a double-digit win. And it's just fairy tale top to bottom. So hell yeah, we got to get travel accommodations next, and let's ride, baby.
Yeah, I love it, man. I can't wait. Week 8 Bills down here at the Carolina Panthers, 1 o'clock. I just can't wait. I get excited. You can see the smile on my face. I mean, just knowing how the Mafia is, I cannot get in my car and drive anywhere without seeing a Bills sticker or a Bills license plate or a Bills whatever on a car. I mean, we're just everywhere. And like I said, they're going to represent for sure. So I cannot wait. We are going to host you. I already told the boys Uncle DT is coming down. They are excited. Nate is really excited because he wants to, see you again. Again, we haven't seen each other all together in that respect with the Kings since the DeMar Hamlin game. So it'll be a lot of fun for sure. And they're really excited. Nate already asked me, like, are we going to the game? I said, of course we're going to the game, Nate. He said, can we come? And I said, of course you're going to the game, Nate. Yep. Well, you know what I mean? So we can't wait. We'll definitely host you. We're going to show you a great time. You always, like you said, you always host me at the Bachelor Pad at 330 Linden. I got you, man. 11-2-4-5. I got you. We got your back, man. We're going to show you all about it. Definitely get down here on Friday so we can frolic around. And then, like I said, Saturday could be a chill day where we move around the city a little bit. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. Yeah. It's going to be a takeover unlike anything I think Bills Mafia has really seen other than to rival those Dolphins games. Now,
good time. What's that, late October? So we're going to be real comfortable.
Yeah, October 26th. Yep, October 26th.
Otherwise, probably 75.
Oh, it's going to be, it's beautiful. I mean, it's hot around here all the time, all the way up until pretty much November down here. So it's going to be really nice. Now, week 9, this is where things start to get not even dicey. One of the things that I know we were talking pre-show, DT, is the way that they spread out the quote-unquote marquee games. Some of the toughest opponents on the Bills 2025 schedule are spread out perfectly. You couldn't even ask for it any better. We started out with that juggernaut like we talked about against the Ravens. You've got the Chiefs here, week 9, Bills, Chiefs at the Ralph, 425. Again, we talked about that 425 primetime little afternoon slot. DT, I don't want to say that I don't care. because of the fact that, you know what I mean? I know I care, but I've got those vibes of last year where I didn't care if we won or lost last year in the regular season because I knew what the real game was. Should we meet? I knew that chances are we would meet. And then, like I already talked about, how I was more nervous about Baltimore the week before, and how confident I was for the AFC Championship game. I don't. I mean, whatever, man. Whatever. Let come to the Ralph. I don't even like. That's not even a game necessarily that I don't even know if I want to go to. We might sell those tickets back, mate. Like,
I think that we look at this as a dollar signs game. It's a dollar signs game. We get triple face value for these seats, and we sell it off. And last year there was the same debate. Like, I mean, I hope we win, right? I hope we win. I'm not going to say I hope we lose or I don't care. I'm not going to watch it because we are going to watch it.
That's disingenuous.
And that game was wild last year. With Josh Allen on that fourth down run, that was the highlight of the year.
Deion Dawkins got a tattoo.
Play of the year.
Deion Dawkins got a tattoo the other day of it. I was like, what?
I saw that.
Loves his quarterback.
So there is some, it's always a good matchup when 15 comes to town. It seems like we got their number in the regular season. Like you said, it is what it is. Let's look at it as dollar signs. It's a 425 start. It would probably, it'd be a good one to kind of take off because we'll be doing it all in Charlotte the week before. So this would be a good one to kind of just kick the feet up in, and let's make some money back on this one.
But hey,
it's going to be a good litmus test after that kind of soft part of the schedule to see if you're still ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to provide the test. We obviously know 4 straight wins against the Chiefs in the regular season. Obviously, things have not worked out in the postseason, so we don't need to go over that again. We've done it ad nauseum. But again, it's the Chiefs, it's the Bills, CBS, Nance and Romo. They'll be there at the Ralph. Last time at the Ralph that this matchup will be happening. Maybe we'll see if we get that number 1 seed. Maybe they have to come back to us another time. So we'll see how it works out. But I like that vibes of a dollar sign game. That makes me laugh because as a season ticket holder living down here in Charlotte, again, 1,300 miles round trip, just coming off the Panther week. Like I don't have anything to prove to anyone. The Buffalo Bills already have my money. I don't know. I probably would just want to sit this one out and watch at home and just relax with the babies. So I don't know. We'll see. It's subject to change, but it's looking like a dollar sign game. I like that. I like the way you described that. The next week, week 10, the Bills go down for their annual trip down to South Beach. Week 10, it's a 1:00 game against the Dolphins. And DT, it's funny because that's the Snowbird game. That's the original, takeover game. Charlotte is going to throw a monkey wrench in it this year, but that's the game that a lot of people like to go away for, get down, get out of the cold. It's already cold by November 9th in Buffalo, pretty much. You're getting ready to brace for winter coming. So I expect to see Bills Mafia in full force as always down in South Beach. But Bills Dolphins, we own them. We'll see how it goes. But other than that, I mean, nothing special about that game in respects to any other marquee matchups. Obviously, things that happen earlier in the season will let us know if that's really an important game. But at first blush, it's just another trip down to our second home.
Yep. Easy flight, snowbirds around, elbow room, fill it up. Going to be a comfortable. This is another one, this is a lot more, level to it than the Atlanta game. Like I was talking about how, it'd always be cool to go down to Atlanta. I always like to go down. I would like to get down to Miami. I love Miami. I love that vibe, the silk shirt, Rick Ross vibe down there. I want to get down and, really see a game down there, but it's just one of those years where, with Charlotte coming up and a few other, big games at home, it's just probably not the year to go down, but a lot of people are already planning it. It's on people's bucket list. It happens every year. So that's the good beauty of it. You can just keep planning for it and keep planning for it. So again,
next year.
A good type of vibe to be in, whatever happens with that Chiefs game the week before, it kind of a get back on track game or just continue to roll and Josh Allen be their daddy. So we'll show out. Elbow room will be popping. Second home, snowbird game. I like it.
I like it too. I do. Now we stay with the Florida theme. Now we won't be in Florida, but we'll be back at the Ralph week 11, 1:00, hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sneaky team. When we do our predictions, I'll put it out there now. This is one that I would be worried about because of the fact that just how it's sandwiched in between some other games that we're getting ready to talk about. Week 11, Bills will host the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield can play. I know that there's a lot of consternation about him and his attitude and stuff like that, and Cleveland gave up on him. I think Cleveland pulled the plug too early. They are clearly still looking for their guy with the quarterback room of I've never even seen a quarterback room with more guys like they
45
got
deep.
like
Yeah.
yeah, 45 deep, and Shador drafted, and then they drafted Gabriel before that, and all that other garbage. They got Flacco, old ass in there, and then Kenny Pickett for some odd reason. It's just a weird quarterback room. I think they pulled the plug on Baker too early. I think he can play, man. I think he's legit. Not top 5, but he's more than serviceable. I think he's more than serviceable.
Touchdown Mike, never not have 1,000 yards, even was hurt
Future Hall of
last year
Famer.
as an old man, basically, and still, kind of easily got it at the end. They had to force him a 13-yard pass to get it, but still had 1,000 yards last year. Chris Godwin is no slouch. They just drafted Ibuka from Ohio State, who was, going to be one of the highly touted receivers in the draft. Baker Mayfield, a couple of years ago, the Bills host the Bucs in a must-win Thursday night matchup when they were kind of on a skid there a little bit, and it was a must-win, and they're a Hail Mary away from losing that one, at home on Thursday night. So never taken the Bucs lately. Their roster's stout. They got some good players in there. They got my boy I wanted from Florida, that the big defensive lineman.
Oh yeah, I saw him.
And Vita Vea. I mean, who knows if he's making the team? But if they both are in the middle there, that's like 1,000 pounds of men in the A gap. So no slouch squad. I have a lot of respect. I was calling for Baker Mayfield to come to the Buffalo Bills until he went 1 overall, and we picked Josh Allen. Obviously, I'm happy how it worked out. But respect to the Bucs, respect to Tampa Bay, and that's a tough matchup.
Yeah, it is a tough matchup. We'll see how the season goes. Like I said before, there's always a game that you're wondering, like, man, I didn't see that one coming. Bills Mafia, you should pay attention. Just pay attention to them. I know that they play in a shitty division in the the NFC South, but I think Baker can play, and I think that they're legit. I like Todd Bowles will look to mess up a game. Now, we've seen that many times over the years. It's even last year how they handled Kansas City or whatever the case. Like, so listen, I understand that their coaching is not the best, but I do think that Baker can play. Next week, week 12, as we begin to wrap up tonight and get our predictions, week 12, it should be a little bit of a payback game. That week, I should play the payback music because Josh Allen plays his worst game as a Buffalo Bill in Houston. We go back to the scene of the crime. It is a Thursday night game, the second Thursday night game for the Bills at home, at Houston, on the road, back to the scene of the crime at NRG Stadium. Texans, Bills, Thursday night football, DT, right after the Bucs.
Talk about owing them one, man. We had this last year. I said again, week 3 going against the Jaguars, how Josh Allen owed him one, and damn, does he owe the Texans even more? Coming from his rookie season, he gets hurt and blows out his shoulder, and the only time he's ever missed games is because the Texans take him out his rookie year. Then they go back in the playoffs up 16-0, sugar high Josh. He's flinging it over his head or whatever the hell he was doing, and then we go down to literally last year, his worst performance, 9 for 31. Bro got knocked out cold and never went to concussion.
They let him come back.
I don't know how that worked. But, just talk about owing him one and all the hype. And, CJ Stroud's been a lot more quiet this year. I had a lot of qualms with him last offseason of having a good rookie year and then kind of acting like he had the NFL figured out. And they were okay, but definitely
you got more mad at them than I did.
They were riddled with injury, so I can't be too, critical of them and say they were bad. They're a good roster. DeMeco Ryans is a, great young coach getting them rolling. But talk about a payback game. You said it best, Rob. Who owes them more? 1 than 17 owes the Houston Texans something.
Yeah, that was a bad game, and we obviously dissected that in the last sequence and got on McDermott about his approach and all. They're just tossing up bombs when they really just need to get a first down and get a little bit of space. We don't need to rehash all that, but they definitely owe Houston one for sure. So I'll be really excited to see that. Now the Bills in this little stretch, it started with week 10 at Miami for the Snowbirds game. We've got 3 out of 4 on the road. They go back on the road. Now, there's not a 3-game back-to-back trip on the road, but there is that 2 back-to-back right there. 3 out of 4. They go back on the road. Another 4:25 Nance Romo, probably CBS game right down the street. You can get to Pittsburgh in 3. I can get there in 3 hours flat as fast as I drive. Anytime I'm driving back up to Charlotte, when I get to Pittsburgh, I'm like, all right, I'm almost home. I just need to get to Erie, and I'm almost home. Yeah. Bills Steelers, 4:25 in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers led Steelers?
I don't know, man.
I don't have a damn
Hopefully.
No, hopefully it's Mason Rudolph, right?
Well, yeah, or Duck Hodges.
Oh my goodness. What do you think about that? The Steelers, they're defensive minded, and Mike Tomlin is always going to have that team competitive.
But man, they're always going to be in the near a winning record, though, Rob. You know, they're always going to be near a winning record. I was surprised they got rid of George Pickens. They didn't see how that kind of at least tried out with Pickens and DK Metcalf, but still no quarterback. They build up the trenches. Tough AFC matchup. Steelers Nation is loud. They're ready to go with the terrible towels. It was a fun. I went down there for 3 years ago when they clinched the playoffs on Sunday night. They flexed it to Sunday night and they clinched the playoffs against the Steelers. Good atmosphere. Kind of, you're not the Mafia's down there, but the Steelers outnumber you. They're ready to rock down there. So a good city. I love Pittsburgh, man. It's one of my favorite cities to go to. It's set up awesome. The stadium right on the river there. Maybe sneak down there. It's not something you got to take off a ton of days of work for. Probably not too expensive. It'd be a decent game to sneak down there for. So we'll see. Good AFC matchup late in the year. I think depending on, how it's not a must win, but it might be one that you got to get if you drop a few of those, questionable or, a Chiefs game or something like that beforehand. This might be one you really got to get, which I like that focus late in the year, 425. Let's see what the Steelers Nation can do. IC lights, terrible towels.
Yeah, the terrible towels. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, they, like I said, they play great defense. I don't know who is leading their offense. I am not scared of Aaron Rodgers, and I'm definitely not scared of Mason Rudolph. So I have no idea what they're doing at quarterback. I don't know why they didn't draft one. It is what it is. They can do whatever they want to do. If Mike Tomlin wants to sneak into the playoffs at 8-7 or whatever, we're at 9-7, like whatever, 10-7 now it is. Fine. You more power to you. You do whatever the hell you want to do. You need a quarterback to compete in this league, and they just don't have one. Week 14. This is it. This is the game I have circled. This is the number one game for me, DT. Bills hosting the Bengals, 425. We heard rumors again about a day before the schedule release that, man, I think this could be Bills against Bengals Sunday Night Football to kick it off. And I was really excited about that one. I'm more excited that it's the Ravens. DT, week 14. This is one of those litmus tests because we'll talk about it here in a minute with that week 17 matchup against the Eagles. DT, this might be like one of your last, okay, these are the type of teams you're getting ready to play in the playoffs. These are the type of offenses that you got to be able to stop, right? That's McDermott. He got all the assets that he wants for his defense. I stay on his ass. This is one of those last potent offenses, depending on what's on the line in that Eagles game. This might be the last test that you get before the playoffs of a real, true, potent offense to get you primed up for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this is
my number one game.
Rumors of week one. I was loving that because the Bengals always start slow. They're always 0-4, 2-6 to start the year, and then they start rolling. And last year, the same deal. They start rolling a little too late, and Joe Burrow has 40-some touchdowns or 50 touchdowns, and they got two receivers. They're paying $30 million plus two. It's legit. That's probably the Chiefs game is obviously a big one, but that's one where we're like, yeah, whatever. We got to get them in the playoffs. I'm not crying if we lose. This Bengals game is going to be a real, if we go and get our ass kicked, that's a real reality check at that point in the season.
We haven't beat them, man. So, we have not beat them.
That's kind of what they've had the number. Obviously the DeMar Hamlin game was one thing. Coming back after the playoffs, shitstorm. But then, last 2 years ago, Monday Night Football, we had a chance to go down there. Joe Burrow hurts his hand, and we had a chance to go down there, and we just look like shit. So this Bengals team really has had our number, has had Josh Allen's number. This late in the season, they're going to be humming, like they always do. This is going to be this. I agree. This is probably the biggest head-to-head of the regular season for this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's the number one game for me. I will not miss that one. Won't be selling. There will be a money game for you that week. I will be taking my black ass up the 77 to get to 90 and making sure that I'm in my seat for that game because it'll be before Christmas. It's December 7th, week 14. It just doesn't get much bigger than that. And again, I think it's one of the last true big time offenses that you are going to face. Now, when it comes really down the rest of the schedule, week 15. At the Patriots at 1:00, week 16 at the Browns. So you've got another two back-to-back away games. Obviously, you got to make up for all those home games that we had to start the season. And then 2 home games to end the season. Now, it's interesting because a lot of people were bitching on WGR and stuff like that. I know that's going around lately with with Brandon Bean, but everybody was complaining that the Eagles game is too late and it's not going to mean anything. And I've tried to poke holes in it when I was thinking about it in my head, but realistically, I don't know. Maybe the divisions are not both locked up, but there is a chance that we have ours locked up. Okay. And then maybe the Eagles are still battling the Commanders, or maybe Dallas is surprising and it's maybe like a tight 3-way log jam. If that's the case, there's a small chance that one of the other teams doesn't have shit to play for, which kind of takes a little bit luster off that game. Week 17, Bills hosting the Eagles, 425.
Yeah. I think that's the main reason that we're not seeing it on Christmas Day, Rob.
Okay.
I think that's the main reason.
Okay.
I think, if there wasn't those implications, this is a Christmas Day game through and through. Two cold weather, blue collar cities, let's go on Christmas and on that Friday and battle it out and probably snow. But you're right. It might mean, nothing, or might not, be as highly touted as a week 4, week 5 matchup against this Eagles team. So defending world champs, we'll see how it goes. If it is, this could be a 1 seed. The episode talk.
The name of the episode. That's right.
One seed vibe. So there is opportunity for the NFL still to get a hell of a game out of this. But I think the higher probability is it won't mean much, and that's why it's not on Christmas.
Yeah, I think that it's probably unlikely that both teams don't need it and they're just trotting out backups. I don't think it necessarily would be that. Obviously, name of the episode, number 1 seed vibes. I don't know necessarily what the division looks like. How many losses does Kansas City have? How many losses does Baltimore have? Did we beat Kansas City? Did we beat Cincinnati a couple weeks ago? All those kind of factors will come into play, especially if you're going for the 1 seed. How all out do you want to go, for it? If it's looking like you're 2 games up on Kansas City and you've got a little bit of wiggle room to play with where we can drop this one, they can get to a game behind us, we'll still go and dust the Jets in the the season finale at the Ralph. Yeah. We're not really worried about it. So I kind of think about all those different factors in it. A lot of people were complaining about it. I couldn't poke too many holes in it because I do see some scenarios.
And maybe a year too early because there's that new rule proposition, and this might not even pass because owners are kind of adamant the other way, but the proposition of reseeding the playoffs. Division, it's just the top 7 seeds by record. It doesn't matter if you won your division or not, just the top 7 seeds by record. Divisions get in to the playoff, right? But it doesn't automatically get you the 4 in the home game. And so that, this game might be a year too early in the regard of, okay, shit, we still got to play. This is a meaningful game, late in the year that we still got to play for seeding purposes to get that home game in the playoffs, as opposed to locking up the schedule and you're going to have that home game. So
with the division,
we'll see. I hope it means something. I'd like to have a good game against the defending champs and, talk about that payback situation of they came in a couple of years ago and beat the brakes off us in that kind of cold rain game with Carson Wentz, and then
we went
in Philly with the Kelly Greens, and we're kneeing to get to overtime and all that BS. So I'd like to see it mean something. I'd like to see us kind of, hoping for that 1 seed, and this is another good litmus test to get us ready to go for the playoffs. But it very well couldn't, and it might be a year too early if those new rules ever get into effect.
Yeah, I don't ever think that they will because the divisions just mean too much and the owners are too greedy. They like those home games, so there's no point of having divisions if you go to that model. So I don't think that you have to worry about that too much. I do want it to mean something because I do like to see how good we are. I always am looking for opportunities to see how good we are. So I would love the fact that you play the Bengals, you get the Patriots, and then you get a chance to play the world champs right after. And they're high potent offense. They love to run the ball. Saquon, their receivers are nasty. Obviously the defending champions. So I would love for it to mean something because, again, another test. It's not a conference game. Maybe it's a Super Bowl preview, all that other good stuff. All those storylines will be there for Super Bowl 60. So I would love for it to mean something because obviously it could give us a good idea of how we're feeling about ourselves as we head into the postseason, which we all expect the Bills to go. Now, as we begin to wrap up, we will close out the Ralph, right? I mean, right? You can't even see it anymore behind me, but I've got the poster right up above my head. Boy, I love that place, DT. And it's funny because they're closing with the Jets. That was the first opponent they've ever played in their history. And then it was also their first opponent that they played at the Ralph when they built it, the house that OJ built. And I love that place, DT. It is going to be a sentimental day for so many members of the Mafia. Obviously, we're hoping that we win the division. So best case scenario, we already have the division locked up. So we know that we're getting that playoff game. We know we're getting another home game. We know it's not the last game. So you get a chance to really kick back your feet and enjoy that last time Sunday. Who knows what day it's going to be actually, because it's still TBD, but you know what I mean. You get in that routine, it'll probably be a 1:00 game. The Jets may be shitty. You get a chance to just go back out to the Ralph. If you're not planning on going to the playoffs, you get a chance to do it one more time. And boy, I love that place. That's my home away from home. I love that place. I love it. I love that place.
I mean, we might if we got a home playoff game, we show up, our seats might not be there, Rob. People might be ripping them out of the concrete and taking them home week 18. So it'll be interesting. I hope the Jets walk out with a boombox in front of 17 again, and we lay it down on them. It's going to be historic. There's going to be a lot of tears, and it's a beautiful ending to a place, and hopefully, obviously, not the last game there. Right. We'll have a few playoff games as well, but what a history, the concrete bowl.
Yeah, it's crazy, and to see all the pictures of the new stadium going up, and that I call that one, Highmark, because I never called this stadium Highmark. I call it the Ralph. Somebody was on Twitter like, "Oh, it's always Rich Stadium" to me. I'm like, it's either Rich Stadium or the Ralph. Rich Stadium's a little bit before your time, but that's what it was called for me growing up. And then the Ralph just became synonymous. I mean, that's what I call it. It's called the Ralph. It's not Highmark or New Era Field, or it's the Ralph, and it's a place that it means a lot to a lot of people, DT, in the Mafia. A lot of memories. I always get choked up when you tell your memories of your first game there. I remember my first game there with my dad. I remember just so many memories. I mean, you and I, we didn't meet at the game, but we, it was a situation where, we saw each other right at the tailgate right afterwards. So it was just really, really crazy. So many different memories. It's going to be something where a lot of people have a story to tell about the Ralph and where they were when it closed.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a great week of WGR and reminiscing, and I can't wait for our I don't know what. Well, I'm sure we'll come up with a good title, but the Remembering the Ralph or something like that, right? And
farewell, old girl. Yeah,
farewell, and hopefully it's a historic season to boot, and we open up the new stadium next year with a hanging that banner and look across the street and say, that was fun over there, man. Became a lot from a child to, through adult, through, in your case, through children, through, I know close friends that have been married there, have proposed on the field there, have, so many things. I'm getting
my boy Jeff was the same way. He didn't get married there, but we took pictures there, like for the wedding bar. After they traded nuptials, we went to the Ralph, and I was just like I was in heaven. Like just I ran to our seats.
Jim Kelly football camp. It's just it's a beautiful place. It's a good chapter, and I just hope this is a true storybook ending to to a real kind of a shitty place, to be honest. Like against all other stadiums in the NFL, this is probably by far the most plain Jane basic, but that's what means so much, and that's why we love it so much, because it's not about the stadium. It's about it's about what's happened in there and around the experiences in there. So it's going to be an interesting year. I'm hoping the Bills really go all out for it, and they, it's more than just a patch on their jersey, and they really commemorate it the best way possible. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too, for sure. It's a situation where there'll be a lot of emotions. Not sure if we'll make it up for that game, depending on playoffs and stuff like that. But either way, I will. I'm just gonna cherish every ride up to Buffalo this year. I'm gonna be cherishing it. News to the crew. I don't know about DT. DT can do whatever he wants to do. I am not going to the new stadium. I will. This will be my last year of season tickets. I have had season tickets since 2009. If you're a new listener, you can listen to my opening of the very first episode, the intro. I told my story of how I became a Bills fan. And how I became a season ticket holder. It was just basically because I couldn't stand not being without my Bills after I moved down here. It was 3 years. That's all it took. I moved down to Charlotte in 2006. By 2009, I was scratching like a crack addict, and I had to get season tickets. It was the 50th anniversary year, and I have been a season ticket holder every single year except for the years that my children were born. I mean, every year. And driving up from Charlotte to Buffalo, people always you drive, you drive all the way. I'm like, yeah, it's not that bad. I could do that in my sleep. And they're always like, man, that's dedicated. Man, that's dedicated. I'm gonna relish it this year. I'm gonna take my time in respects to enjoying all of it, enjoying the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains that you saw the other day when you were driving down your parents. I'm gonna enjoy all of it. I'm going to enjoy the tailgates a little bit more because I won't be going to the new Ralph. I will be, we'll do the season opener or something like that. And then after that, I'll just watch. I'll be a regular out of town fan because not doing the PSLs, DT, it's not for me. It's becoming really corporate. I hope that they don't price out our fan base with these PSLs. I've heard mixed reviews on the price and stuff like that. They got financing options and stuff like that. For me, it's just I'll be 40 in the summer. It's not anything I need to continue to pursue. So this is it for me, DT. And I can't wait to enjoy it with you this year, man. I really can't.
Let's go out with a bang, Rob. Let's go out with a bang. Let's go out with a parade.
I love it. Let's go out with a parade is absolutely right. All right, let's run it down. We'll wrap it up tonight. We really appreciate all of the listeners tonight. Almost 500 people watching and tuning in. We appreciate you. All right, rapid fire. I will count the losses. Ravens, go, DT. Win.
Oh, loss. You're just my prediction? Win.
Yeah. Oh, Jets.
Win.
Dolphins.
Win.
Saints.
Win.
Patriots.
Win.
Falcons.
Win.
Bye week. Panthers.
Win.
Hey, we won the bye week too. Okay. Chiefs.
Loss.
Dolphins.
Loss.
Ooh. Bucks.
Win.
Texans.
Win.
Steelers.
Win.
Bengals.
Loss.
Patriots.
Win.
Browns.
Win.
Eagles.
Loss.
Jets.
Win.
All right. Listen, 13-4 is a hell of a record. I have 13-4. I've got a loss to the Ravens. I've got a loss to the Chiefs. I have a loss to the Bucks, and I have a loss to the Bengals.
Okay.
I'm counting on the Eagles not needing that game. Eagles or Bills not needing it.
Conservative
13-4
losses. It's hard to find more than 4.
It really is. I think
no matter what, if it's I picked some marquee teams there other than the Dolphins, but like even if it's not the marquee game, like this might be a year you drop a divisional game, even looking hard into the schedule, it's tough for me to find more than 4, even if it's not the marquee games. Like if it's just some odd ones,
some random teams,
13-4. Although they've been on this path every other year, the past since Josh Allen's been in the league of
what's that?
The first breakout year, they go 13-3, and then they go 10-6, and then they go 13-4, and then they were 6-6 at one point, and then had to win out to go 11-7. So they are kind of on this back and forth. But I don't know. We got the MVP, baby. We got the schedule stacked up. It's tough for me to find more than 4, no matter which way you look at it. No matter even if you give loss to kind of all the good teams through and drop a division game, it's still 4. So 13-4 at worst, hoping for better.
Yeah,
I mean the Vegas is 11.5 on the win total, so they're at 12. So
I mean, listen, they said the Bills travel the second least amount of miles behind the Cincinnati Bengals in the entire league. We just went over the schedule, home and away. You don't have a 3-game stretch of away games. You just got a couple back-to-back.
Going to Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
They're right around the corner. The farthest you go is Houston, and you're in the Eastern time zone except for Houston. I feel no international game. I think that this schedule lays out so perfectly. They spread out your marquee matchups. You got week 1, you got week 9, you've got week 14, and then 17. Like your 4 biggest games are spread out. They're not sitting on top of each other, even like last year where you had to play some back-to-back guys. I think as much shit as I talk about everybody eats in the direction of the offense, I have to admit that it quote unquote worked last year. So I have to get off of that a little bit. I will still be watching the offense, but if the offensive line is intact, and we'll talk about all of that, Nickel City Crew Bills Mafia, as we get into the offseason. We'll do our annual offense day defense episode. We'll do all of that. If the offensive line is still going to block the way that they are, if James Cook is not going to give a stink and really takes it more personal and just says, you know what, I'm going to run my ass off to get the money, whether it be from the Bills or another team. I don't see how you beat us too many times unless the defense lets us down. And I will be watching Mr. McDermott like I do every year since 13 seconds, like a motherfucking hawk. I'm watching them, and I'm still not over 13 seconds, so I'll just keep watching them. Listen, DT, I appreciate you tonight. Give us a quick tailgate report. Nickel City Crew tailgate report presented by Queen City Vintage. We've got giveaways coming up this year as well. Give us a quick one, DT. What do you got going?
Yeah, good spring. Was just down in Florida last week. Parents bought a house down in the Villages. Beautiful place down there. Golf cart
they're
seats.
snowbirds now.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep. Mom and dad are snowbirds. So that might be our Miami game the year after. Maybe get down to Florida, the swamp, Gainesville, an SEC game. You know, that's on my bucket list too for an SEC game. We went down, we built the golf cart. Made it Bills colors.
Okay.
It's gonna look good, man. It's gonna look good. We got black rims, blue sapphire going through them, red, white, and blue seats. It's gonna be clean. So
that's what's up.
that was last week, kind of getting into the spring, trying to get my golf game in check. You know, ready to go for the summer, and that's where I'm at, baby. Business as usual. Enjoying this good weather we're finally having, and vibing up here, man. So that's my quick tailgate report. Nothing crazy, but getting into it.
Yeah, man. I've got down here in Charlotte. The weather has finally broke down here, so we're enjoying the hot weather. It's getting hot. It's hot today, and we're really loving it. If you like the warm weather, and I do, as opposed to the cold. But down here, slow motion, man. I've got all 5 babies tomorrow, so daddy duty. We've got Quincy's got a baseball game. He's got 2 more left. When I tell you this kid can hit, DT, he's one of like 2 kids that can hit an actual pitch. I pitch to him, and I pitch faster than I do to the other kids. And he's yoking it. He's doing really great. He doesn't like it as much as I thought he would, but he likes playing first base. I said, if you play first base, you get action. The ball's coming to you every time. So he likes hitting way more than he likes fielding, but he is enjoying. He's only got 2 games left. He's had a really good season, but other than that, the boys are off from their rugby. The older boys are off from rugby and soccer. So we're in a chill. We're in a lull right now before summer kicks back, and we've got way more stuff. Nate's team just won his championship for flag football last week for this team. So they gave them rings. And all, I said, oh my gosh, you should have never gave this motherfucker a ring. So I mean, he thinks this shit don't stink already. So he got a championship ring for his flag football team. So that was really cool to celebrate with that with him last week. So yeah, this week is slow motion, man. Enjoy the games tonight. Nickel City Crew, I think we've got game 6 of the Knicks. They get a chance to try to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then I think we've got game 7 tomorrow for the Nuggets and who is that? Oh, Nuggets and OKC. So
that's a great series
as well.
Yeah, and hockey's hot right now too. You got Toronto might blowing it.
Yeah, and all this damn traffic down here in Charlotte.
Golf guy, but
all this damn traffic down here, man. There's traffic. I drive far for work.
Yeah, the PGA.
Yeah, man. There's all these Quill Hollow people down here, and they are messing up my damn commute to work for sure. But they're down here, DT. So what is are the leaders winning? I don't even know anything about it.
It's a weird tournament so far. It's a bunch of no names up top, and the big dogs are kind of in the wings. But a lot of guys kind of had a better day today, made the cut. So we'll see what the weekend brings. But the leaderboard is not sexy. So we'll see.
Interesting. Well, when you come down for the Panther week, I'll show you around. I'll take you to Quill Hollow. It's only like 20 minutes from here. I'll take you around. I'll show you stuff. I don't golf, but I know where the courses are. So I'll take you around, man. Listen, Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, we will be around. Well, listen, our creative director, Olivia Nagel, shout out to her. She does a great job. She will let you know when we're coming back in. There's not really too much right now. We've got mini camp. It's going to be the next major thing. Then obviously training camp. And then obviously the season will start thereafter. So we're not going to take off until August, but we'll dip in and out. We'll see you guys. We've got a special guest for you coming up. Hopefully next week, before we do take our little break before training camp. I'm really, really excited. DT knows about that. I don't want to spoil it, but it's hopefully next week. We got to get up with Mama Monday one more time before we take our break. So we'll be around, Nickel City Crew. Check us out. Olivia Nagel will keep you posted for sure. So shout out to her. And on another note, shout out to Justice General Radford. His father's going through some stuff. So just send some good vibes, DT, and Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, out to him. His dad's going through the little thing right now. So we want to support him for sure. We love the creative director over at Buffalo fan base, Justice General Radford. Our prayers are with you and your dad. Other than that, out there, listen, enjoy the weekend, Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia. Spread love, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit him with a go Bills, DT. You said 13-4. I'm down with you, man. I'm down.
Conservative 13-4. Go Bills, 13-4.
I love it.
Great year, baby. Let's go.
Go Bills. I love it.